Hello, and welcome to this Bitwise webinar on automated ETL conversion to ADF for accelerated data warehouse migration on Azure. My name is Nathan Nichols, Head of Partnerships here at Bitwise, and joining me today is our very own Kalpa Sharma. As a Senior BI Project Manager, Kalpa specializes in migration solutioning and leads an innovative automated ETL conversion solutions team. With her vast experience in BI projects, Kalpa works closely with our clients' technical teams to set up best practices, design innovative solutions, and establish guidelines for new data integration tool implementation or migrating or redesigning existing tools. Before I pass things over to Kalpa, let me first provide a quick introduction to Bitwise. Bitwise, a technology consulting and services page, uses over 24 years of enterprise data management experience to help bridge gaps between traditional EDW and cutting-edge cloud technologies. What truly sets Bitwise apart is our technology leadership in creating unique automation solutions that reduce the time, complexity, and cost of large-scale data initiatives such as ETL conversion and cloud migration. And as a Microsoft Gold partner, we work closely with the ADF team to help our global clients accelerate their data warehouse modernization on Azure. A quick announcement before we get started. We will have Q&A at the end of the session. So if you have any questions, feel free to send those via the question feature, or you can contact us at any time at sales@bitwiseglobal.com. And with that, I'd like to pass things over to Kalpa. Kalpa?
Thanks, Nathan. Hi, everyone. I'm Kalpa. Thanks for joining today. So before I start with the tool demo and other relevant information about this automated conversion tool, let's understand why should we migrate from an on-premise ETL tool to cloud ETL. There are several benefits of doing that. For example, especially in case of ADF, the processing is done on big data. So because of ADF, it provides a GUI, and with a very reduced complexity, we can always achieve that big data processing. Maintenance is very much minimized because we really don't have to worry about any kind of software upgrades or patch installation and things like those. It's a highly cost-effective solution because we would be only paying for what we are using. Also, in terms of performance, it gives us the edge over the on-premise ETL tool in many cases because we can configure the specific data processing and provide it more resources only to the specific scenarios where the data volume is higher and still keep it lower on the other side. And last but not the least, that this also provides us a very highly scalable environment when it comes to on-cloud processing. So the typical problems which our customers have found in migrating any of the ETL tool to other ETL tools is that first of all, it's very, very time consuming activity if we start doing things manually. Then even if we do it manually, it needs a lot of resources who should have understanding of both the ETLs from where we are migrating to the ADF world. The third thing is when we do anything manually, there are possibilities of doing or having error in the code. So the typical way of migrating is identifying the code to migrate, writing the requirements back in the templates, and then identifying the opportunities manually for any kind of optimization, and then start doing things manually. However, here at Bitwise, we offer a better and an automated solution for this problem. So the way this automated ETL tool works is this is divided in 3 different modules. So the first module is adoption module, which essentially parse the entire ETL information. So for discussion purpose, let's say Informatica. So it's going to parse that entire XML within Informatica, all the metadata information present in Informatica, the transformation rules. Everything is parsed, and then this is pushed to the ETL conversion core. Now, this is the heart of the tool, and which essentially has all the transformation logic and creates a tool-specific transformation for any of the source ETL. From this point onwards, the information is passed to the generation plugin, which will give us the output of the target ETL tool in an automated way. For example, in this case, ADF. So it's going to give us one of the JSON files, as well as it will also provide us the conversion report. Now, this conversion report is very essential because the conversion may not be, and most of the time it's not 100%. We definitely have to make some manual updates. For example, if there are any parameter related updates, or if there are any source or transformation changes, or if there is any custom code, in such scenarios, we may have to manually update few things. So conversion report essentially highlights all the aspects where the tool has not completed the automated conversion. So even if there are any warnings or any specific custom code which is not converted, the code will not fail. It will still give us the output with the warning or highlights in the conversion report. So we will see all of this in a demo shortly. But before we actually go there, I would like to explain a bit around how we actually execute one of the end-to-end conversion project. So this entire conversion project is typically divided in 4 different pillars. We start with the assessment phase. Now there are the automation available in case of assessment also. So there are thousands of ETLs we have to assess, and we can do that really in a very short span of time, no more than a week, and could be lesser also depending on the number, because there are scripts which can automatically parse the entire information. So we get the complexity related information in an automated way, post that information, we create the inventory, we prepare the sprint plan, we prepare the conversion solution approach, subject prioritization, and things like those. Post assessment phase, we get into the conversion automation, which is done by subject area. So depending on the priority decided in the assessment phase, this conversion is done of different subjects. And this conversion will include automated conversion through the tool. Any kind of manual updates needed would be done by our team. Also, if there is any redesign and optimization needed, because most of the time it's not always apple-to-apple conversion. When we want to move from an on-premise world to cloud world, there are high possibility we may also want to change the source of the data. That's what we have seen in most of our projects. It's not essentially just ETL migration. It's the holistic upgrade of entire infrastructure. So all that aspects are considered as part of conversion. Once the conversion is done, there is automation even at testing level. So there are validation scripts created already, which does the validation of the updated output. It also generates the report and gives us information around things like what is matching, what data is not matching, and anything which needs our attention. For example, percentage matching, and if there are differences in precision of the data and all those things, so we can parameterize those reports and we can get those details. Post that, it depends on how we are engaging. If we may or may not want to do the integration testing by this team, or there can be a separate QA team for integration testing. And this entire conversion project, usually we implement this through agile model, where the combination of both Bitwise team, conversion experts from Bitwise, as well as from our customers there's a joint activity. So with all of this, let's start the quick demo of the product. So in this demo, I will be converting a medium complex Informatica mapping to ADF in an automated way using Bitwise proprietary tool. All right, so this is a medium complex Informatica mapping with typical transformation like join, expressions, sorts, filters, aggregate components. So we'll start with logging into the conversion tool. What we have to do here is we need to select the path where this Informatica XML is present. We can give either workflow XML or the mapping XML and select the target folder where we want this Azure output to be created. And like I mentioned, we got two output. First is JSON file for ADF and the second is the conversion report. Now the next step is to import the ARM template in ADF portal. And once this import is done, we'll do some sample comparison of few of the transformation between Informatica as well as the automatically created ADF files. So you can see the deployment is in progress. All right, so this is done. Let's refresh and see this data flow. So this is how the data flow looks like. Let's take a close look at it. So we'll start with one of the sample source. So here we can see there are multiple fields in one of the source with data type, precision, and scale, etc. All of that will be automatically generated for this ADF data flow with the right precision and data type. Next, we can see one of the join component in Informatica. So this is a detailed outer join, which is essentially a left outer join. In ADF, we can see the left outer join has been generated with the right keys in it. Now, let's take a look at one of the sample expression. So here we will see one of the sample expression for this policy premium left. So if you see, there are a couple of Informatica functions, for example, floor and length are being used. So same expression transformation, we'll see how it appears at ADF. Because there are direct mapping available, similar functions are available, it has been automatically populated. The rule is here, present here as well. So same field, both of flow as well as the length functions are appearing well. So likewise, all the transformation and sort and expression keys are coming up automatically in the ADF flow. And even the destination, the targets are also appearing up well. And we will also take a look at the conversion report like I talked about. So if anything which is not converted and even converted, it's going to come right well and will be highlighted in the report. So for example, there is one function we have not configured while doing this conversion. So you can see this cannot convert function FB. So similarly, if there is any code which is not converted, will be highlighted in the conversion report for each and every mapping. Okay. So yeah, that's what about the demo. Now, along with this ETL to ETL conversion, there is an extension of this conversion tool where we can also migrate from the legacy code like PLSQL stored proc or Microsoft stored proc. Those can also be automatically converted to the ETL world because those were developed quite behind, and now that we are upgrading, we may want to upgrade that also to the ETL world for, of course, the obvious benefit like easier maintenance, better performance, etc. Okay. So the key benefits would be that we provide one-stop solution for entire end-to-end migration. So whether the code, right from assessment phase all the way till implementing it to production, can be provided in one package. Then because of the use of this automated ETL conversion tool, the timelines are significantly reduced, so is the cost. And because most of the things are done in an automated way, the chances of having any kind of error or overrun are significantly reduced. So with that, I will pass on to Nathan for any kind of further questions and information. Nathan, over to you.
Great. Thanks, Kalpa. We hope that this session provided a good overview of our ETL conversion solution for migrating to ADF. For more information or resources, or to request a conversion POC on one of your sample ETL jobs, visit our website at www.bitwiseglobal.com, where you can find our ETL converter page under products. You can also contact us directly at sales@bitwiseglobal.com to explore a deep dive discussion on your specific migration requirements. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time and for joining us today. We have time here to address your questions. So let's go ahead and get started with the Q&A. As mentioned, you can send your questions in via the question feature, and we'll get through as many as we can. Looks like we have a couple coming in here, Kalpa. So let's go ahead and get started.
Sure.
So let's start with this question. Looks like it's a two-part question on what happens after the ETL is converted. And the first part of that question is regarding the data. What mechanism is used to pull data from on-premise database to Azure cloud?
All right. So Azure Data Factory provides a feature, copy activity. We can introduce this activity in Azure Data Factory pipeline, which is used for pushing data from any of the premise data to the cloud-based database. And that is then integrated with mapping data flows.
Okay. And then the next part of that question is, how is testing carried out once it's been converted?
All right. So for testing, there are validation scripts already available, and which is part of this conversion solution. The purpose of those scripts is to give you an automated testing, which will also generate the validation reports, and which will highlight any kind of match as well as mismatch we have in entire data. The end-to-end data will be validated and the reports will be generated.
Okay. So another question here is related to scheduling. How is the scheduling handled?
Right, so in ADF world, there are trigger features. So trigger feature is used essentially for scheduling. So all these pipelines which will be created as part of this newer world in ADF will be triggered with the trigger feature. And that will take care of everything in terms of any kind of dependencies or in terms of time which it needs to be executed.
Okay. So this question is regarding the demo. So based on the demo you showed, which versions of Informatica for source ETL and ADF for target ETL are supported by the tool?
All right, so from source, we support so many other ETL tools, but if we talk specifically about Informatica, so we support from Informatica 8 onwards. And for ADF, we support version 2.
Okay. Looks like one more question here. And again, if there's any other questions, go ahead and send those via the question feature and we will answer it as best we can. So the next question is, how is performance optimization achieved with the solution?
Okay, so performance or better performance is one of the key benefits of moving to ADF. There are different configuration settings and resources available, and the price would be pay as we use. So by providing more resources as well as providing the partitioning and parallelism within the data flows will provide us high level of optimized code.
Okay. And then one more question here. Which ETLs are supported with the ETL converter?
All right, so there are a number of ETL tools. So just to name few, we support Informatica, Ab Initio, SSIS, we support PLSQL scripts, and we support Talent. So most ODI are the few ones. So these are something which I have on top of my mind, but you can definitely write us if there is something beyond this. But most of the up and running ETL data stage is another tool which we are supporting.
Yep, and just to add to that, through our solution, we can really convert any ETL to any ETL, and through our ETL conversion page on our website, which I shared earlier, there's an option to upload a sample ETL, and we can do a quick POC of converting that into ADF and really showing the process specific to your ETL job. So with that, Copa, we'll wrap up here. If we did not get to your question or you have questions that come up after the session, definitely reach out to us at any time at sales@bitwiseglobal.com. And with that, that concludes our session for today. Thanks, Kalpa, and thank you for joining. We look forward to talking with you soon. Goodbye.